Hello, my name is Llewellyn Jones, and my date of birth is the 18th of August 1977. Granda, what is your date of birth?
9th of February 1922.
Can you repeat that just for the
Yes,
microphone?
9th of February 1922.
So that makes you 100 and a half.
Yes.
I think once you go past 100, you're entitled to use the half again. So, can you tell me, you were on the ship that the ship that also brought the Jamaicans to Great Britain, weren't you?
On the ship that...
Yeah.
What?
What's the name of the ship? Empire Windrush.
Oh, the Windrush, yeah.
Yeah. And you went on
the
the
Multan as well.
on the what? Sorry.
There were also the Multan
You were on the Multan too.
as well. That was another ship.
I see. And the Empire Windrush that you were on, that was the same Windrush that brought the Jamaicans and the Caribbeans into the port of London, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And what was the name of the other ship?
The Multan, I think.
The Multan.
I think I don't know.
I read up on the Windrush, and it was originally a German ship, and it sank just off the coast of Gibraltar in the mid-50s.
Yes.
Yeah, is that the one? Yeah.
Must be, yes.
Yeah. Okay. And I should say that I'm a bit tired because I've just walked the Snowdon Path, so I'm not as compass mentis as I would be. So I'm a bit tired, and I travelled all the way to Bangor, so I'm a bit exhausted myself. So what bike did you have, Grenda?
Well, when I was 11, we had to sit for the examination to go into secondary school, and I passed that. And as a present, I was given a Hercules pedal bike, and it was called. It was a sort of safety model. They described it as in those days, I think. The point was that you could sit on the saddle and put your feet on the ground so that you didn't sort of just fall off. It had very wide tyres as well.
Did it have rod brakes?
Pardon?
Were the brakes made with rods?
Oh, yes.
Rod brakes,
two rod brakes. No gears.
So it was fixed?
Just
single speed?
Fixed. A freewheel, of course, but no gears.
And was this the same bike that you travelled around North Wales on?
Well, I did have the bike actually for until about 1965, but I also and I took it, kept it around for a long time, but I also had a rally in 1938.
Is that the same rally that was? Are they the same rallies that were made in Nottingham?
Yes, the rallies made in Nottingham. It had a 3-speed Sternly Archer gear, and I got that because I was at 16. I was going to work in Workington, which is in the hilly part of the Lake District, and I thought, well, having the 3-speed gears would help me for getting around the mountains.
Can I just say, for people who don't know what a 3-speed Sternly Archer gear is,
Well,
it's internal hub gears that
internal hub,
yeah,
yes.
It's not derailleur. It works off a planetary gear system. So what happens is you pull the cable out of the axle, and then it pulls another gear into the mechanism, but internally, not outside the hub.
That's right.
Yeah, and you get 5-speed and 8-speed gears as well. Internally.
It was very good. It's a bit heavier, of course, with all that equipment on.
Were those the two bikes that were in the hayloft in Nance Peris for years in Gathervowr?
Well, I did have one for a long time. There was another one in the hayloft. I'm not sure where that came from. Perhaps.
Maybe it was Nines. So, but
yes. Well, Emily. Yes, it could be.
Yeah. Do you Tide Nance Perris died a couple of months before I was born. So he died in, I think he died in 1977, did he?
Yes. Mother died in 1964.
That's my great grandmother, isn't it?
Yes, and he died in 1977.
And I think I was born in the August, and did he die in the July?
It's the same year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know I missed him by a couple of months, and he used to travel. He used to walk up behind Gandhavara in Nant Peris to work in the quarries, didn't he? In the quarry face.
Oh yes, he had to go up, climb up to the galleries by 7:30 in the morning, but no work if it was all frozen.
Yeah, and I should say that I've also walked that path because you took me there. You took me up there when I was a teenager, didn't you?
Oh yes. It leads right onto the quarry.
Yeah, and I remember you took me up there in it must be mid-90s, early 90s, and there were still abandoned railway bits and bobs, weren't there? Flanges, engines, wagons. They were just there rusting.
Things that fell off the end of the tipping point.
So can you tell us about your dad, my great grandfather? I remember him because he was in the back room in this house for years.
Yes, well, he was born in 1890.
And what month?
20th of July. 1890.
And your mum, was your mum 1889?
She was December 14th, 1889.
I see. And your dad worked for the Hartlepool Gas and Water Company, yeah?
Yes, that was a separate company that withdrew water from artesian wells.
Artesian wells?
Artesian wells.
Were they posh?
Well, it's 125 feet down below ground.
Oh, I see.
Through magnesium limestone.
Oh, so you had hard water.
So it was very hard water.
Oh, I see.
They also had a reservoir in the little hills inland to supplement the supply when the town grew bigger.
Oh, I see. So they had two sources.
Yes.
So some insurance.
And the waterworks was in a quarry on the other side of the road from the gasworks. But of course, the gasworks produced coke
in the retorts.
From the retorts, and they used small coke to feed the boilers of the water works.
Yeah. So it was
one helped the other.
One helped the other. Yeah. So yeah. So I remember going to my great grandfather's house. Well, he lived in Bangor for a while, didn't he? Towards the end of his life.
Oh yes.
But after he died, I remember going to Creswell Drive, and I remember the park.
Yes.
Opposite, and I remember with Mia, I remember picking up newts or something in jam jars, and it was quite a nice street, a nice area. Yes. And you took us on this must have been about 1987, I think, so I must have been about 10. You took us on the Transporter Bridge.
Yes, from Port Clarence to Middlesbrough.
Yeah, you took us on that, and then I remember what else did you took us to a couple. You took us to some industrial areas in Middlesbrough, I think, or Redcar, I can't remember.
Yes, well, the big steelworks.
Yeah.
On that side.
Yeah, so I kind of still I saw the last remains of industrial Britain.
The Imperial Chemical Industries, the ICI, had big factories there. It
was a bit like Runcon, wasn't it? Yeah, but I remember in Seaton Carew, I remember seeing the men picking the coal and throwing it into their wagons.
Oh well, that was sea coal.
Sea coal, yeah.
Yes, and sea coal could be used on industrial boilers, but it wasn't suitable for home hearths. It was too stony.
Oh, is that true? Is it? Oh, I didn't know
But
that.
it could be used on industrial scale.
I remember talking about the coal works. I remember, like, as a boy, you gave me there was like a foolscap sheet showing every single thing that you could get from coal.
Oh,
Every chemical from coal tar soap to rubber, or a form of rubber,
yeah,
and
perfumes.
bitumen and all kinds of phenols and some spirits and things like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
all that is lost when you don't treat coal.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we import coal from everywhere now, but England, and Wales. What else was I going to say? So you on your bike, you travelled around. You travelled all around North Wales from Bangor. You went to Harlech, you went to Newborough, and you went to Llanberis.
I went to Wrexham one day.
You went to Wrexham.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I would do that.
To take bus photographs.
So you cycle all the way from Bangor to Wrexham in a day?
No, from Llandudno.
Oh, from Llandudno, you cycled from Llandudno to Wrexham in a day?
Yeah, 92 miles.
What, there and back, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
And how long did that take you on a 3-speed?
Oh, I don't know. I had an hour there to take photographs of some Crossville buses in the depot.
Oh, I see. Oh, do you remember the? Oh, sorry. To get back to the cycling, but you also cycled around Anglesey and to Llanberis and other places within Carnarvonshire as well.
Oh,
didn't
yes, and going to work as well.
You cycled to work as well.
Yes.
Yeah, but
You could come home for dinner, you see.
I'm sorry about this interview being a bit disjointed, but it's just a casual chat with my grandfather. It's not a BBC production. But I also talking about my my great grandfather, my nine's father. He when he finished in the quarry and he was retired, and you were living in Bangor. Is it true that you went with a pram and you put a weighty valve radio in the pram and you walked all the way from Bangor to Llanberis with the valve radio in the pram?
Something, yes, I was.
Yeah. So you took the valve radio for a walk, basically. But sorry, carry on.
Yeah. Years ago.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, you can still buy valve radios now. They're very expensive. They're top quality, top notch. So, and the other thing I was going to say is with your grandfather, Fisher. What was his first name? I can't remember. Francis Fisher. And he worked in the London North East Railway, didn't he?
He was in the North Eastern Railway Company offices from 1877, I think, at Stockton on Tees, and then to West Hartlepool. And he was in the goods offices, in charge of the goods offices, until he retired at the age of 67 on the 31st of July 1919. He was kept on because of the war, and all the younger men had gone.
And some of them hadn't come back, presumably, so they kept him on. And how old was he when he died?
96.
96. No, who?
He had a first-class pass to go on any railway.
He had a first-class pass to go on any railway?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Now, who was the man? Someone in our family in the Northeast had a special dispensation to be able to walk down the track to go to Sunday school. Yes. Who is that?
Well, that was my father. He was a member of the Wesley Church in West Hartlepool.
Is that a Wesleyan church, yeah?
Yes.
Methodist?
Western Methodist Church in West Hartlepool.
Yeah.
But of course I was christened there too. And my mother was a member as well, and her father. And he was a Sunday school teacher as a young man.
Oh, I see, yes. Yeah.
And part of the duties was to go out to outlying churches, and one of these places, like Heselden.
Heselden?
Heselden.
Where's that?
In County Durham.
Yeah.
Nearer the coal fields.
Yeah.
Was more easily approached if he could go on the railway line on a Sunday.
Is that because the roads were too poor, or?
Mm.
So it was easier, and he had a special permission to walk down the track.
Yeah.
So.
And yes, on Sundays.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yes, I'm with you. But I had a few other questions as well, and that was your mum's dad, wasn't it?
My father.
Oh, sorry, your father. Yeah.
My father. That was when he was a young man.
Oh, your father. Oh, I see.
No.
Yeah. But I don't know.
No, my mum's dad was Francis Fisher.
Francis Fisher, yes. And who owned the house in Beverley, the second home in Beverley, the holiday home? You got the glass plates up.
Well, he had a sister in Beverley, and who was connected with the Alderman Hall of Hull.
Oh, yeah.
But my grandfather also owned a cottage in Beedale. Beedale near Northallerton.
Yeah.
And I used to go there sometimes in the summer.
You did?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, it's a holiday home.
Oh, I see. Yes.
And I've been there years ago. And of course, he could travel free all the time.
Yeah, first class to his holiday home. How things have changed.
Yeah.
Well, we'll wrap this up in a minute. Just was there. What I was going to say is. Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say now. Well, anyway, Granda, thank you so much. Sorry for being a bit tired, but
no,
I think we're both tired, aren't we?
No. I mean, Tony and I have got on for years, haven't we?
Yeah.
Having a chat.
Yeah, but oh, that's what I was going to say. Someone was asking me the other day if you had a television. And I explained to them that you did have a television because it's in the corner of the room. And
now, yes.
Yeah, now. But you did have a television set that lasted for about 20 years, didn't you? It was a Hitachi one.
Yes. I didn't have one to begin with. We really decided we couldn't afford. I think at the beginning we didn't have a telephone or daily paper.
Yeah.
Or television. Things came gradually as you get older. Yeah. But and of course bringing up 2 children as well.
Yeah. So without mentioning,
I got a black and white television.
You can still buy a black and white license, even though you can't buy a black and white telly, but it's for blind people. Without mentioning any names, you've got 2 daughters, my mother and my auntie, and you've got 6 grandchildren, haven't you?
Yes.
And how many great grandchildren?
5.
You got 5?
Yes.
Oh, 5 grandchildren, 5 great grandchildren. So and well, I suppose one of them's old enough to have a great great grandchild.
Yes. Well, they keep in contact with me.
Yeah.
Various times.
Yeah.
Some more frequently than others.
And yeah. Oh, I was going to ask you. Have you ever heard of a ship called the Tirpitz?
Tirpitz. It was a German warship.
Do you know anything about it?
Well, it was in the news many wartime. I can't quite remember the connection.
Oh,
it was a German warship.
Oh! While we're on the topic of Germans and transport, how many bus tickets are you in possession of now, Granda? At the last count.
Well,
they do breed.
Bus and train and non-passenger ones as well. About 32,000.
32,000 bus tickets and train tickets.
Yes.
Do you remember the electric trams in Llandudno? I don't mean the Great Orme trams. I mean the electric trams between Llandudno and Colwyn Bay.
Oh yes, when I was moved to Llandudno in 1948, I used to ride on the tram to the lodgings, and travelled on them until they finished in 1956.
Yeah, it's
I
a sad.
took several photographs at the time of them.
It's sad they got rid of those because they would have benefited Llandudno for years, wouldn't they?
Yes, it was short-sighted, of course, but they sold out.
To buses?
They changed to buses services, and then very soon sold out to Crossville.
To Crossville, yeah. Well, they were. I mean, I remember the Crossville buses in Bangor, and they used to be painted green, and I remember going with 9, and they used to go to Garn, and I just remember
Yes.
the old buses, and the water would just come in Gandol Bellman, and it would be soaking and more wet inside the bus than outside.
Oh yes, well, the tramways had their own toll gate near Ross-on-Sea.
Yeah, in fact, I think if you go along the A55, you can still see a substation somewhere there near Mochtra. It says 1921 or something on it. The other thing I was going to ask was, you remember the overhead railway in Liverpool, don't you?
Yes, I was stationed in one time in the Revenue.
The Inland Revenue, yeah?
In the Inland Revenue, in Southport, and I used to do what they called head office relief. That meant going to Liverpool sometimes in the Liver building, 11th floor on the Liver building.
How many floors are there in the Liver building?
I don't know.
I didn't know it was that high.
12.
12.
Oh, 12 or more. Anyway, it was quite high up in the Liver building.
Mm.
And of course the trams used to circle round on the pier head.
Yeah, I'm talking about the overhead railway.
Just below. And the overhead railway runs along the back of it.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see where you're coming from.
Aintree area to Seaforth.
Was it about 12 miles long, was it?
Oh, it's quite long. It started in Aintree, where they ran specials for the Roses.
Yeah.
And then Seaforth by the docks, all along the riverfront. And then went out eastwards as well, from beyond Liverpool.
I mean, I've only ever seen pictures of the Liverpool one, but I've seen I've seen pictures or videos of the ones in Chicago, the elevated rail. They call them elevated rail, and the one in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They've still got them there, but the problem with them is that they rust and they make the streets dark.
They require a lot of pillars
and a lot of painting. I sometimes wonder that they should paint the pillars and things, just like bling them up and paint them silver or gold or something like that. The other question I was going to ask about your cycling was, how many miles did you do on the bike?
86,000.
And over how many years?
Well, from 1933 to 1965.
So 32 years, yeah. So and how many miles again?
86,000.
Oh, and after that you got a car, didn't you? A Ford Anglia.
Yes, in 1965.
In 1965. I remember my dad having a Triumph, and the my mother had a Ford Anglia as well. But you took us to school in the Ford Anglia sometimes, didn't you? Do you remember?
Yes, well, I had one, Mum, Kerry had one, and Jennifer had one.
Yeah, the benefit of those type of cars is you can work on them yourself.
Well, that's true.
There's no computers.
I had a pit as well at the bottom of the garage.
Oh, I remember that. That's because you're on the side of a hill.
No, but also, of course, the tyres were interchangeable.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, so, but anyway, Greta, we're both very tired, and I think I'm more tired than you, actually.
Well, you're more active than I am.
Yeah, well, I've got a better excuse to be tired.
Some days I go to sleep so easily.
Yeah. What I was going to say was, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you know? I might be wrong here. When Tide Nant Peris, where he lived in Gathervawr in Nant Peris, was it his dad was it his dad or someone else's dad who saw the train, the Snowdonian Mountain Railway train, come off his track?
Well, one that did come off, was it in the first year of running?
Running, yeah.
It was about 1895, I think.
Yeah. Have you ever been up it?
No, I haven't actually been on it. I used to walk up whenever I went.
No, it was too expensive. It's about £50 return to the top, you know.
Oh, dare say.
Yeah, they've got some Hunslet diesels there. Yes. But it's one of the few railways where I actually prefer it being steam because it looks better.
Yes. Yeah.
But
yes,
that one's not for electrification.
Well, I don't know. It must have been his father, surely.
Yeah, it must be his father. But that's before we go. Keep it because we're both tired. Mia, and you. We walked up Snowdon on a non-standard path, didn't we? With that mountain in front of in Mount Peris with a vertical cliff.
There's a shortcut from the head of the lake.
Yeah.
And you can goes up fairly steeply, but it's possible.
Yeah. Well, it's a very good reason why
it crosses over the moor to somewhere near the halfway station.
Yeah. It was a very good reason why it wasn't a popular shortcut, though, wasn't it? Because it was like 40. More than that, like 70 degrees.
Shorter than going to Clanberries.
It was one. It was well, at the time, I'm joking, but it felt like it was what's the word? It felt like it was one step short of abseiling, like the wrong way.
Well,
no, it was okay.
No, yes, it's healthy exercise.
Oh yeah, just the problem is exercise consists of effort, doesn't it? Anyway, that wraps it up. Okay, I'm sorry about our disjointed conversation, but
no, goodness me.
Right.
It's very nice to talk with you.
Yeah, well, it was 28 minutes nearly. Goodness. Anyway, yeah, I know it went quick, didn't it? Right, I'll speak to you later. Thank you.